everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Thursday, January the 19th, race number 8 at Gulfstream Park. Second level allowance with a 62,500 claiming option at 5/8 of a mile on the turf. Let's take a peek at this field. It's an overflow field, 10 in the body of the race. Two also eligibles. Your morning line favorite is the number 6, Agent Peter Graves, coming off a stakes placing at Gulfstream, going 5/8. She has learned to rally from off the pace out of necessity because she hasn't broken well in her last 2 races, but she also has speed.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what tactics they use with Agent Peter Graves here, Dan. He really did run well last time in that stakes race where, he was forced to do it from off the pace. I thought he ran a very good race that day to get up for third. I kind of felt like the 6 and the 7 were the, sort of two right horses in here. It feels like if one of those two or both of them, if they show up with their good race, somebody's probably going to have to improve to beat them.
Taking a look at the 10 through 12 on our entry card, Airspeed Velocity coming off a win at Laurel for Jimmy Toner at 20-1, and our 2 also eligibles. Likely the best of the AEs is the 12 Mata, who is already stakes placed sprinting on turf. We'll throw up our Timeform US pace projector, and we do see Agent Peter Graves close. I think if he breaks very well, he could find himself on or near the lead. Personally, Yes I Am Free is fast. I think Panther Island has got to go.
Yeah, that's probably true, Dan. I think Panther Island's going to have to come out of there and show some speed. He hasn't been on turf since his debut, but he's gotten faster since that start. We'll see. The 4 and the 7, yeah, they're both going to be out of there running, I think, and we'll be trying to get forward, but maybe the 2 can outfoot him to the front.
A horse that's hoping for a little bit of pace help up front is the number 1, City Drifter, who scored going 5/8 at Hawthorne 2 starts back. Now, just a completely different racecourse configuration. Hawthorne has a long stretch that you would think would help a closer like City Drifter. Gulfstream has those tight turns in a shorter stretch. City Drifter benefited from the long stretch to win at Hawthorne. Not sure the quality of competition he beat that day. I'm willing to take his synthetic race last time out at Gulfstream with a grain of salt. I just think he's stepping up in class.
Yeah, me too. And listen, I thought when he won at Hawthorne Quebec, I thought he ran well in that race, but he also got a pretty good trip in there. And, I have the same concerns that you do about, the kind of field he was beating. The horse that was second to him, Ian Glass. I mean, I'm sure you remember him, Dan. He was in New York forever ago. I mean, he's always been, sort of a claiming. He's pretty good, but he's always been a claiming type of horse. I don't know. I feel like this is a pretty big step up in class.
The number 2, Panther Island, is a head away from coming into this race unbeaten from 5 lifetime starts. We'll watch his most recent start, first level allowance race on the Tapeta on October the 30th, and Panther Island showed his speed. He battled it out early, and he's going to keep on going. My concern in this race was, Mike, the 2 favorites in this race, one of them being odds-on Panther Island, completely controlled the race from the start. There was no closing going on, and you have to think the pace is going to be a lot tougher this time around.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I looked at it too, Dad. And the horse that he was dueling with, Mamba on 3, is also back in this race. I thought they both ran fine in there. This horse ran a little bit better to prevail. And he also ran a little bit better than that horse 2 starts back when he was, sort of once again up there part of the pace, dueling through the stretch, and he just missed to an in-form horse. I mean, I can't really knock his form. Whether I'd want to bet him against this field at a short price again, that's another question.
His only lifetime start on turf was his career debut, and he did rally from off the pace, so it does appear that he has some versatility. The number 3, Our Shot, is by Cantharos, who is a noted turf sprint sire, and Our Shot really appreciated the move to turf in his most recent start. A first-level allowance at Pimlico all the way back in May, and we turn into the stretch. Our Shot was chasing 3 wide from an outside post position, but this pace was fast, and this leader is getting tired, and once Our Shot switches over to his right lead, he's going to run him down, and he beat 3 next out winners.
Yeah, I think he beats a pretty good field here. Overall, he got a really good trip, but I also felt like he ran really well in this race, Dan, in his turf debut and cutting back from 5 to 7, which is not necessarily an easy thing to do. I remember really liking his maiden win on dirt also. He's very lightly raced. I think you have to be concerned about this long layoff, Dan, but I won't be surprised if he's competitive in here. Listen, we're going to get to the picks pretty soon, and I don't have him in there, but this is a horse I could easily use at a price.
I do have him in there. The layoff is a concern because it looked like after
Yeah.
that race, he bounced back fine. Terranova was looking forward to finding another spot for him, and then he disappeared. But I do respect this barn. He returns as a first time gelding, and it looks like he has found his niche on the turf course. Chessmaster is the 4, and Chessmaster is a horse that's certainly capable on the grass. He earned a 100 buyer speed figure at Tampa Bay, going 5/8 of a mile last year when wiring them in their turf dash. He looked very good, although he got away with a very easy lead that day. His last race to me is another throwout. It was a 2-turn mile. It's way too far for him. He's turning back in
Yeah.
distance, Mike, in his third start off of a short layoff. And even though he is turning back, he has the speed to get close at a price.
Exactly. And if he is 15-1, that just feels like it's pretty fair value on a horse who has back races that would make him really, really tough in here. Listen, I didn't think he ran well two back in that stakes race. That was a really good field. I just didn't think that he ran well in that race. I'd be willing to give him the pass for the last one going the mile. We'll see. I mean, I didn't really know what to do with him, Dan. At 15-1, I have no argument with this horse because I know that he can win. I just don't love his recent form.
Maya Prince is up next, and I think we could take his last race with a grain of salt. They tried him on the poly track at Turfway Park, and he just didn't really run that great. He was chasing 3-4 wide on the backstretch, advanced into contention, and flattened out. And the winner of that race is a good synthetic horse. Came back to run third in a stake at Turfway with a 92 buyer. The prior turf form is okay. Maybe not against the greatest competition, but he showed late run in those races. He'd benefit
Yeah.
from a fast pace up front.
Yeah, the question is whether he's going to wind up classing up with a field like this one, Dan, or if he can just improve. He's very, very lightly raced. I liked his 2 wins after that layoff last year off the pace. I liked the way that he finished both times. I don't know. You follow Laurel, Dan. That's your circuit. That race in November, I didn't love the trip that he got in there. Just sort of saving ground the entire way, stalled behind horses down to about mid-stretch. And I thought he ran on pretty well once he got clear.
No, this horse has shown some ability and he has a lot of upside potential. He just needs the right race flow and the right trip.
Yeah.
And again, against a tougher field, you're going to need to demand value. But he is 12-1 on the line for a super trainer in Michael Trombetta. Agent Peter Graves is our morning line favorite, the number 6. And we did mention that he does have some speed. Now, his 3 lifetime victories have come at Canterbury and Sam Houston, but he earned a stakes placing in this spot last time out at Gulfstream, going 5/8 off a 2-month layoff. We see Agent Peter Graves didn't break very well, getting into it from the outside, and is going to be running on at the end to grab third.
Yeah, nothing wrong with his performance. He got bumped at the start. It sort of left him in a little bit further away than he usually is. The horses that run 1-2 in here, they're both really, really good horses in good form. To me, this horse did well just to get up for third in that spot. The race 2 back, he also didn't get out of the gate that well, and then wasn't really a big factor. But when he does get out of the gate, he's fast, Dan. That last win, sprinting on the grass back last January, he went a fast pace in that race.
If it wasn't for the July layoff, I think you could make an easy argument that the 7 Yes I Am Free is the horse to beat. He still might be the horse to beat, but the layoff might keep some folks away. I liked the way he won the Gulfstream Park Turf Sprint in 2022, a race where he shook off a bump at the start, pushed another horse early, and just was much the best, and he backed that up with a win in the Silks Run Stakes. He likes 5/8 of a mile at Gulfstream. The problem is we haven't seen him since a synthetic race back in July. If he comes back with his good form, he's going to be very tough.
Yep. Exactly. I don't have anything to add to that. I'm worried about the layoff with him, but his good race is going to make him a handful against this field.
Charmed is up next, the number 8. Tyler Gaffalione takes them out. This horse was claimed out of his most recent start, a $35,000 beaten claiming race, but a victory over the DePita surface at Gulfstream. Let's watch this effort for Charmed, who got up close to the pace in here. Pace not super fast, at least for the opening quarter, 22-3. Charmed is just going to plug away and get this done, and he's run some good races on turf in the past.
Yeah, this was a pretty slow pace. He wins this race very easily, though. It was a drop in class for him, and now they're going to step him back up in class off the claim. The guy that claimed him, though, has some pretty good numbers off the claim. Dan, this horse to me, he's just a real wild card. He's run, I think, some really good races on the turf, and he's run some really bad ones. So I don't necessarily feel like you can have a lot of confidence in him. I do feel like, though, if he shows up and runs one of his good races, he can go with these horses. This horse has run some really nice races.
Mamba on 3, the number 9 is next. Boy, has this horse been in very consistent form. He's hit the board in his last 7 starts. Now, he was racing in the beginning of his career, mostly on turf. Recently, it's all been to Peter races, including this start of first level allowance on November the 27th. And Mamba on 3 has very good tactical speed, which always seems to allow him to get a good position after the first quarter mile. And here Mamba on 3 takes over and stays on to his business. The runner-up would return to win a first level allowance on turf with an 87 buyer. You look at his form, it just seems like he's equally as good on turf and synthetic, but recently I wonder if he's slightly better on the all-weather.
Yeah, I wonder too. And I just think it's hard to, especially at the morning line, then at that 5-1 price, I think it's hard to really get behind this horse. We just watched his win last time. I mean, that wasn't the most impressive victory in the world with a bunched up finish at the end. The prior 2 starts, he ran fine. He didn't run as well as Panther Island, who's also back in this race. I don't know. To me, 5-1 seems way too short.
We're big fans of Jimmy Toner. He's having a really good start to the Gulfstream meet. He sends out the 10 Airspeed Velocity for his first start of 2023. And Airspeed Velocity looked good last time out, taking advantage of the long stretch at Laurel in 5.5 furlong turf races. Now, he was cutting back substantially from several route races, but he's making the frontier, and Airspeed Velocity is going to keep on going to win. It's possible he's found his what he wants to do going shorter. I just wonder if 5/8 at Gulfstream's a little too short.
I wonder too. Boy, I wouldn't be that surprised though if he takes another step forward in this race, Dan. He's got a huge pedigree for a great trainer, and listen, he improved quite a bit in that sprint race last time, and he was under a very confident ride throughout much of that race. I mean, he won that race, I thought, a lot easier than it looks. He doesn't have a great post. He's going to have to improve again, but I think he's a little interested in here.
A 20-1 on the morning line. The very capable Jorge Ruiz takes the mount. Of the 2 also eligibles, Mike, I guess the 12 Mata seems like the best. He does have some back company lines, but following him, I'm a little concerned as to where he is right now from a form standpoint. After that third in the Laurel Dash where he jumped a shadow on the backstretch, they put blinkers on. I didn't like that. He was the beaten favorite. They stretched him out around 2 turns. I didn't like that. He didn't run very well. And then last time at Gulfstream, he just sort of ran around there at a price. If he gets into this race, he will have to deal with an outside post in questionable form.
Yeah, all those things are true. I mean, he's definitely a horse he's another one who has races that would give him a chance in here. Personally, I didn't want either of the AEs if they get in, but if you told me I had to take one, it would obviously be the 12.
Before we take a look at our top selections, and they're really something, folks, please subscribe to the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time. How wide open is the Thursday race of the day? It's wide open. We only have 8 of the 10 horses on our list.
Yeah.
Mike's going 8, 6, 7, 10. I'm going 4, 3, 2, 5. The One City Drifter can't lose, folks. But Mike, make one more case for Charmed.
Yeah, I just listen more than anything else. Then I was trying to avoid the shorter prices in here. Not that I'm way against the 6 and the 7. I just didn't want to take a short price on top. And Charmed is one of those horses who I remember. You're going back 2 years now to when he was a 3-year-old. He ran some really good races when he got over here. I know his form since then hasn't been great, but I feel like if he runs his good race, he can contend here at a price.
I feel the exact same way about my top pick, the 4 Chessmaster. I know he's fast enough on his best day to win a race like this. He does have to go back to last year's race at Tampa, where he had everything his own way on the lead, but I think he'll be close to the pace again, despite turning back in distance. He classes up well on his best day, and he's going to be a price. 8, 6, 7, 10 for Mike, 4, 3, 2, 5 for me. Thursday race of the day, the 8th at Gulfstream Park. Best of luck.